Last year, when the Eagles took Miles Sanders, I knew what I was getting in Miles Sanders. When the Eagles drafted Jeremy Maclin, I knew Jeremy Maclin. I knew what I was getting. When the Eagles drafted Deshaun Jackson, I knew who Deshaun Jackson was. I don't want any more receivers that every other team passes up on, except for the Eagles, and read about how they see the greatness in this guy and he's going to come out and surprise everybody, only to have him come on the field and stink. I don't want it. What I need this year is I need the Eagles to go up and get one of the top 3 wide receivers in this draft.
Hail the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly.
Scary Cooper, asshole.
Oh, Diva! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans. Dallas still stinks. Everybody doing? King Dingbat here, and I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. What a hell of a week we just had. My gosh, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. And it's not the virus itself, because we've been through things like that. Remember the H1N1? They didn't hype that nearly as bad as they're hyping this thing. And that was probably worse. But the thing that gets me is the public panic and how everybody's reacting, how everything is closed down and all those kind of things. And I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. It is. You got to do it. It's the best thing that you should do. I mean, I was getting frustrated why these schools were not shutting down for my kids. Because why wait till people get sick and infect everybody before you shut down? Do it beforehand. I understand. I understand why we're shutting everything down and things like that. I get it. But man, I just go into the stores and driving, man, people are on edge. And I've never seen them like that in my life. Not like that. You know, it's really crazy. Now, fortunately, my wife, she's a middle school teacher. She's off for a month. Her school said they're off for a month. That's awesome. My kids, their school district just said they're off for a month. Shout out to both those school districts. I'm glad. My family's home. We're going to be safe. The least thing I'm worried about is the virus. I ain't worried about it at all. You know what I mean? I tell you the truth. The whole coronavirus thing, it's interesting, and it got me thinking, and it's got me thinking about a lot about this draft. So earlier today, I was watching Jerry Judy film, right? And I gotta tell you, I'm starting to like Jerry Judy more than I like CeeDee Lamb. I'm not even kidding you. Part of it says combine, but the more I watch him, the more I like him. I still have CeeDee Lamb as my number 1 guy, but it's really like 1A. They're both going to be studs in my opinion, okay? So I'm watching Jerry Judy. I'm also reading about what the NFL is going to do now for the draft, because right now, free agency and the draft, they're going to go as scheduled. You're not going to have an audience or crowd at the draft for sure, you know, and all those kind of things. But, you know, the whole process is kind of messed up, and the teams are trying to figure out what they're going to do. There were suggestions that they could actually FaceTime guys running 40s, which I don't know how you do that and really get an accurate time, okay? But they're talking about things like that, FaceTiming interviews, which, you know, you could do that. It's still not the same thing of having a guy there. And they're really going to have to rely on what they saw at the combine, what they saw in the interviews of the guys that they interviewed, and they're going to have to really count on the tape, what guys done on the field, okay? Now, this, in a way, in my opinion, could be a blessing for the Eagles. This could be a huge blessing because let's face reality. Howie Roseman and this front office have done a horrible, horrible job drafting wide receivers. They can't draft them. And when people say to me, oh, well, you could get this guy in the second or the third, or this receiving core is so deep that you can't make a mistake, I say, no way. No way. Some guys that we think are going to be good are going to fail. They're not going to be good. Okay? And if you expect me to trust Howie Roseman and the Eagles after the last 9-10 years of receivers that they have drafted, all of them being bumps, okay, maybe Whiteside develops in something down the road, maybe. But if you expect me to trust that, especially after we're talking about not the same information available to you, not being able to bring in guys, not being able to go to their pro days, not being able to have your scouts meet with these guys, but having to rely on tape and what you could do over the phone. If you're going to tell me that I get less information to give to them and then say, hey, go make that decision, forget it. Forget it. I can't do that. I can't do that. There's only one option. There's only one option. You gotta trade up in the first round and get your man. That's what you gotta do. Because the Eagles have shown by history and what they've done over the last 9 years that when it comes to mid-round wide receivers from the second through the rest of the draft, they can't do a good job. Okay, and they always seem to draft a guy who they say, well, we really like this and this about him, and we saw this, and no other team saw this, but we did, and you're going to see, then he gets out and he stinks. I don't want that. Now, I hope Arcega-Whiteside develops into a good guy, but you could have had Darius Slayton, you could have had DK Metcalf, you could have had Deebo Samuel, you could have had so many other guys. But you didn't take the right guy. You picked the wrong one. As of right now, as of where I'm standing right now, today, that was the wrong pick. Now, maybe he'll develop. I hope so. But I can't take that chance. Now, I have to wait till 21 or trade back or get a receiver in a second. And I have to trust the Eagles when they're going to have less information than normal. I can't do it. I can't do it. They have to trade up for one of these three guys. And the most likely guy to trade up for is Henry Ruggs. I want Ruggs. I'd take Judy or Lamb, but I'm assuming that they're going 11 and 12. If they fall back to 14, boom, I'll get them. I'll tell you this. If I'm drafting, and let's say we get to 14, and Ruggs and Judy are on the board, I'd try to get up, but I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't sweat it because I know Tampa's not taking them. Then, let's say 14, Denver goes to Denver goes and they draft Judy. Then I get Ruggs at 16. I don't think I get him 17, but I think that's Dallas draft, right? Dallas ain't trading with you. But what I'm saying is, you got to trade up. And you probably have to go up to 14 to get Ruggs. Probably Judy and Lamb are off the board by 11 and 12. And Ruggs is sitting there at 14, Denver waiting to pick. Denver's going to be waiting to get him. You have to get up to 14. You know, something like a first, a third, a fourth, maybe even a little pick next year for the icing on the cake. Do it. You're still going to have like 8 picks left this year. The Eagles aren't drafting 10 players. It's not going to happen. I'll tell you right now. They won't make 10 draft picks. They'll pick about 8 and they'll trade a couple away. They always do. They always do. And then they'll sign a bunch of undrafted free agents. You got to get Ruggs. Ruggs has the speed we need. Now, I get a lot of crap because I always say, what's the guy's 40? T. Higgins runs a 40. 4.56. Not fast enough for me. What was his vertical? Like 31? He's very unathletic to me. Too unathletic. Okay? Too much like Alshon Jeffrey, in my opinion. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'm not doing it because I'm saying he's bad. I'm not doing it because I can't take the chance. I can't take the chance because of who I have drafting. Who's helping Howie Roseman draft anyways this year? Barry's gone. Douglas is gone. Who's helping him? I want the guy who the consensus of analysts, scouts, teams, I want the guy who they say, that guy has the best chance of being good. That's the guy I got to get. That's the guy the Eagles have to get. They can't play around, especially, like I said, less information. I get killed on the 40 because I talk about Ruggs 40 all the time. People will say Ruggs is a situational player. Ruggs is just a speed guy. He's not. Go watch his tape. He is so much more than a speed guy. He is a good wide receiver with speed. That's what we need. That's what we need. That's what I want. And Ruggs is the guy. Look, if the Eagles had fast guys and skilled players already, then I don't mind the T. Higgins, the guys like that. Then it's okay. But when you lack that game changer, when you lack that super skilled player, when you lack that on your roster, at some point you have to get it. Not all your players are going to be those kind of guys, but you got to have a couple of them. The Eagles have one who's 33. He may not even be healthy next year. Go out and trade for Henry Ruggs. I like 40 times because of the team we have and what we need, okay? If we had all fast guys, I would say don't, go after T. Higgins. Go after a slower guy, a physical guy. But we got that already. We need fast guys. We need speed. We need game changers. We need playmakers. Not on offense only, but on defense too. But when it comes to this whole coronavirus thing going on now, and when it comes to all these things, in my opinion, that fact that you're going to have less information to work on going into this draft means to me that you got to trade up and get the sure thing. That's my opinion. Had to get that out there because it's been driving me crazy all day. I've been thinking about it. And it's funny because I was thinking about it all day about how the virus could really, everything going on with the NFL, how trading up is a more reasonable option now. And I saw my man LB, he's against trading up. Love LB, but we're going to have to debate this, buddy, because I think the Eagles need to trade up and trade up quick. Anyways, with that said, what was I say? Oh yeah, take care. Talk to you later and don't be a dingbat.